For years, many people have been stuck believing that if they just think positive enough, if they just push out every negative thought or force themselves to stay hopeful all the time, they will magically change their lives. They've heard it everywhere. Control your thoughts, think only good things, avoid doubts like the plague, and they try to live like that. But the truth is far from that. It's not about what you think. Thoughts come and go like passing clouds on a windy day. Some days, your mind might flood you with worries, doubts, or fears, and other days you might feel hopeful and excited. The difference is not the thoughts themselves, but which thoughts you decide to believe. This is the secret that turns everything upside down. You don't manifest what your mind randomly thinks about. You manifest what your heart and mind accept as true, your beliefs. Beliefs are the invisible architects shaping your entire experience. When you believe something deeply, whether it's positive or negative, that belief becomes the lens through which you see the world. And that lens colors everything in your life. This is why sometimes people want something desperately, think about it all the time, repeat affirmations, and yet nothing changes, because their beliefs underneath the surface haven't shifted. They might still believe they don't deserve it, or that it's too hard to get, or that it's impossible for some reason. Those beliefs are the real cause of what shows up in reality, not fleeting thoughts or wishes. Once you realize that your beliefs, not your thoughts, are the real creators of your experience, you can stop wasting your energy trying to control every thought or pushing away every doubt. You stop fighting with your mind. You stop pretending you're positive when you're not. Instead, you begin to gently change the story you believe about yourself and the world, no matter what thoughts pop in your head. This is freedom, because it means you can let the mental noise happen without panic, and quietly but firmly hold on to the new belief you want to live by. This is where manifestation really starts, when you hold an assumption, an inner knowing, no matter what shows up outside of you. This is how reality begins to bend and align. Not because you forced your thoughts to be perfect, but because you stopped arguing with your mind and started choosing your beliefs with quiet confidence. The power isn't in trying to control your thoughts, it's in changing what you believe about yourself, your life, and what's possible. Once that belief is strong and steady, your outer world can no longer help but catch up and reflect it back to you. Most people believe that to manifest the life they want, they have to become mental warriors, constantly battling their own minds, forcing themselves to think only positive thoughts and never allowing a single negative feeling to slip through. They try to push away every doubtful or fearful thought as if those thoughts are enemies. And they believe that if they let those negative thoughts stay even for a moment, everything they want will fall apart. But this way of thinking doesn't just make manifestation harder, it actually slows it down, and it causes unnecessary suffering. The mind is built to think. It's designed to analyze, to worry, to jump between possibilities and outcomes. It's natural for thoughts to come and go, and trying to stop that process is like trying to hold back the tide with your bare hands. It's exhausting and it never works. But here's the key: thoughts on their own don't have power. They're just mental noise. They become powerful only when you give them power by believing they are true. If a negative thought crosses your mind, maybe a fear that you'll never get what you want, or that something will go wrong, it doesn't manifest because you had the thought. It manifests only if you start agreeing with that thought, letting it sink in, making it part of your story about yourself and the world. When you realize this, you no longer have to fight every single thought. You don't have to pretend you're happy when you feel scared or doubtful. Instead, you can watch those thoughts like a TV show that doesn't really affect you. You acknowledge them, but you don't invest your energy in believing them. This simple shift creates space between you and your thoughts. It frees you from the exhausting job of thought policing and allows you to focus on what really matters, choosing your belief. You don't have to push away your negative thoughts or argue with them. In fact, the more you resist or analyze them, the more attention and power you give them. Instead, you can just let them be like static noise in the background. Annoying maybe, but not important. You stay focused on your new belief, your new assumption about how life works and what you deserve, even if your mind tries to pull you back into old patterns. This way, manifestation becomes a natural process instead of a stressful battle. You're no longer trying to control the ocean. You're learning to sail through it by steering your beliefs, which are the true forces that shape your reality. If you look back at your life, you'll see that many patterns kept repeating long before you ever heard about manifestation or the law of attraction. Maybe you struggled with the same type of relationships, kept finding yourself in similar situations, or experienced recurring feelings of lack or failure. The truth is, these patterns existed not because of random thoughts you had, but because of the unconscious beliefs and assumptions you held deep inside, often without even realizing it. Beliefs are like the software running your life behind the scenes. They silently program how you see yourself and what you expect from the world. When you believe you're unworthy of success, no matter how many positive thoughts you try to force, your life will keep showing you evidence that confirms that belief until you finally question it. When you believe that love is hard to find or keep, you'll keep attracting experiences that match that belief. This is why working only on your thoughts rarely produces lasting change. Thoughts are surface level. They come and go. Beliefs are the foundation. They are your core assumptions about who you are and how the world works, and they hold much more power than any passing thought. To truly shift your reality, you have to change these beliefs. But how? The first step is becoming aware of the beliefs that are running your life. This means paying attention not just to your conscious thoughts but to the feelings and stories you carry about yourself and your possibilities. Then, you can choose new beliefs, ones that support the life you want to create. This isn't about pretending or wishful thinking. It's about making new assumptions that feel believable and true to you. When you consistently hold these new beliefs, even in the face of old doubts or circumstances that haven't changed yet, you start rewiring your experience. The outer world has to catch up with the new inner you. This process is not always fast or dramatic, but it is powerful and lasting. You're not forcing anything. You're simply living from a new foundation. And that foundation is your beliefs. Changing deep beliefs can sound like a huge task, like trying to rebuild a house while still living in it. But the truth is, you don't have to wrestle with your mind or force yourself to believe something new over and over again. The secret lies in a simple, gentle technique that anyone can use, and it works much faster than repeating affirmations mindlessly or trying to convince yourself through willpower alone. First, you want to write down the new beliefs you want to adopt. These beliefs should feel inspiring and believable, not something so far out of reach that your mind rejects them immediately. For example, instead of saying, "I am perfect and flawless," which might feel too big or fake, you could say, "I am worthy of love and happiness," or "I am growing every day." Writing them down helps you focus your intention and puts your new beliefs into a physical form you can return to again and again. Next, say these new beliefs to yourself, either out loud or quietly in your mind. You can say them one at a time or all together, whichever feels right. The key is to say them calmly and confidently, as if you already know they are true, even if part of you doubts them. This is important because belief is a feeling as much as it is a thought. When you repeat these beliefs, feelings start to come up, sometimes positive, sometimes resistance, or even opposing emotions. When those opposing thoughts or emotions appear, don't fight them, don't analyze why they're there, and don't argue with yourself about them. Instead, treat them like static on a radio, just background noise that passes by without disrupting your signal. Let those doubts and fears come and go without giving them power. This simple step allows the new belief to sink in without resistance. Many people fail because they try to push away or argue with their doubts. But this only strengthens the old belief by giving it more attention. Instead, by allowing your mind to relax and letting the resistance pass, you clear the way for the new belief to take root more quickly. Finally, stay faithful to your new assumptions, no matter what shows up in your external world. It's natural to see old patterns and evidence that seem to contradict your new belief, but that doesn't mean you failed. Your outer world is still catching up with your inner changes. This consistency, holding your new belief even when reality hasn't yet shifted, is the real secret to lasting transformation. When you do this, you're no longer forcing or struggling. You're simply allowing the change to happen from the inside out, trusting that your reality will follow. This way, changing your beliefs becomes a natural and even enjoyable part of your journey rather than a battle. One of the biggest challenges when working on changing beliefs and manifesting a new reality is patience. It's easy to feel frustrated or doubtful when the changes you want don't show up right away. Maybe you've started repeating your new beliefs, but the outer world still looks the same. The old patterns keep popping up. The results seem slow, and sometimes it feels like nothing is happening at all. But here's what most people don't understand. Manifestation is not about instant magic or immediate fixes. It's a process that follows the natural timing of your inner transformation. When you change your beliefs, you're shifting the foundation of how your mind works and how you experience life. This shift has to ripple outward into your physical reality, and that takes time. The outer world, which we often call 3D, moves slower because it has to rearrange circumstances, people, and events to match the new you. Sometimes, the world resists or seems stuck because it is still reflecting your old assumptions underneath the surface. This is where many people give up too soon or start doubting their new beliefs. They think, maybe this doesn't work, or I must not be doing it right. But real change happens in the space between holding your belief and the world catching up. The key is to be consistent, to keep returning to your new belief no matter what the outside looks like. Even when the evidence doesn't seem to support your new assumption, you keep faith in it. This faith is not blind optimism but a steady knowing that your inner world is the true source of your reality. Over time, as you stay consistent, small shifts begin to happen. Maybe you notice subtle changes in your feelings, new opportunities, or a different way people respond to you. These are signs that your inner belief is starting to show up outside. You might not see the full manifestation right away, but the process is underway. It's like planting a seed and waiting for it to grow. You don't see the roots below the surface, but you trust they are there doing their work. The important thing is to not rush, force, or get discouraged. Consistency, not speed, is what creates lasting transformation. When you hold your new belief steady through ups and downs, your reality has no choice but to follow. You're aligning with the natural flow of change instead of fighting against it, and that's where true manifestation power lies. So, instead of expecting quick results or trying to speed up the process by controlling thoughts or forcing outcomes, focus on staying faithful to your new assumptions. Trust that your inner work is rewriting the story of your life, even if the pages outside haven't flipped yet. This patient, consistent approach opens the door for deep, lasting changes that no quick fix can ever provide. One of the biggest misconceptions about manifestation and belief change is that it's all up to you to control, fix, or reprogram your mind like it's some stubborn machine that needs constant tweaking. But the truth is, you don't have to do all that heavy lifting by yourself. There is a part of you, often called the higher self, infinite awareness, or your true inner wisdom, that naturally knows how to guide your transformation once you declare your new belief and stay faithful to it. This higher self can take over the process of aligning your subconscious mind and your life with that belief. Your role is to set the intention clearly and consistently. Then trust that the unseen part of you will handle the details. This means you don't have to force change, analyze every thought, or stress about whether you're doing it perfectly. Trying to control the process only creates resistance because it puts your finite self in charge of what is actually an infinite process. The higher self works quietly beneath the surface, gradually rewiring your subconscious assumptions, healing old wounds, and attracting the right people and situations that match your new belief. When you stop trying to micromanage your mind and instead allow this higher guidance to do its work, manifestation flows more naturally and effortlessly. This is not about giving up or being passive. It's about shifting your trust from your limited conscious mind to the vast intelligence within you. This shift opens the door to miracles and changes that no amount of willpower could create alone. Remember, manifestation is a partnership between you and your higher self. You declare the new reality you want, and your higher self handles the process of making it real. The more you relax into this trust, the faster your inner transformation happens, and the more your outer world will reflect it. So, stop trying to force the mind to reprogram itself and start allowing your higher self to guide the journey. In the end, the key to manifesting what you want is not about controlling every thought or trying to banish negative feelings forever. It's about understanding that beliefs are the true creators of your reality. And by choosing new beliefs and staying consistent with them, you rewrite your life story from the inside out. You don't have to struggle or fight your mind. Just gently set your intention, let go of resistance, and trust that your higher self is working behind the scenes. This patient, trusting approach brings lasting transformation without stress or struggle. Manifestation becomes not a battle but a natural flow when you realize it's your beliefs that shape your world, and your inner alignment that opens the door to everything you desire. If this perspective on beliefs and manifestation shifts something for you, or if you've experienced how letting go of thought control changed your results, drop a comment below and share your story. What new belief are you choosing to live by starting today? I'd love to hear your experiences and keep this conversation going.